Okay, you guys, hello, what is up? Welcome and or welcome back to my channel. So, if you can't already tell by the title of this video, today I'm kind of going to be taking you guys along. It's going to be almost like, think of it as like an older sister giving you some advice. That's how we're rolling with this. I'm just going to tell you guys the different things that I have learned over the past, I don't even know. I guess my like self-development journey has been over probably about the past 4 years. So I'm going to give you guys all the tips that I have and also things that I've learned along the way, things that I wish I would have known when getting started. Okay, so the first things first, let's set some ground rules, I guess, which will lead into the other 4 things. But number 1, a lot of people don't reach their goals or success. They don't know where the hell they're wanting to go. You can't think of it like this, okay? If you are getting in a car and you are trying to go somewhere, most of the time, like you pull up your GPS, you put in the destination, and it takes you there. If you're not putting in a destination, like where you actually want to go, what you're trying to achieve in life, and what your main goal is, you're never going to get there. You need to set goals. So literally take some time after you watch this video, sit down, write out your goals. Me, I put my goals and different things like under my desk in this little drawer right there. I look at it almost every single time that I sit down at this desk. I have a paper and it says brick by brick and it has all my goals laid out in order. I constantly am looking at these, refreshing myself of my goals. You have to keep those things in the forefront of your mind. And if you don't know where you're going, how do you ever expect to get there? So that is one big thing. Set goals, know where you're going, set a plan in place. That is going to be, I know it sounds so simple and like, well, duh, Kylie, you want to set your goals so you actually know where you're going. But the thing is, a lot of people don't. I'm sure a lot of you watching this right now, you want to be successful and you know that you want to achieve all these things, but you don't actually have anything that you want to succeed particularly. Like, you just have this broad goal of things that you want to be successful, yet what is success to you? You don't know. So you need to figure that shit out so you can actually get to that point eventually. A little tip with that too, the goals. So if you're setting out goals, I know that's kind of such a broad thing. And what I do and what I have been doing for years, write out your 1-year plan, your 3-year plan, your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, maybe even 15. I typically stick with like the 1, 3, 5, 10. Write out your plan. I'm not saying just because you write it out, that's exactly how your life's going to happen. Like life will just throw random curveballs at you, which is fine. But at least if you have those, you have a basis to start. You're like, okay, I want to, in 5 years time, I want to be full-time self-employed. Okay, so what are you doing then in your 1 to 3 year things that's going to line you up so you can achieve that at 5 years? So set those out, take some time. I literally take a notebook, wear this like script type thing, and this notebook right here that you guys are seeing, this is kind of like my brain dump notebook. I have notebooks for literally everything. I have one like a brain dumping one for work. I have one for just random things, which is this one. I have one for project A and B. Get a notebook and literally just like dump everything in there. You don't have to have multiple, but maybe just get one. Use it as your journal, use it as your brain dumping thing. Literally just write down your stuff. Write out your goals and then look at it every day. Refresh yourself on that 1, 3, 5, and 10-year plan. That way you can stay aligned with those. And that moves us right into the next thing. So a lot of people, once they get their goals set and what they want to do, they're like, okay, yeah, I got my goals set. That doesn't mean just because you've set those goals that you're going to get there. Your actions have to match your goals. This is probably the biggest thing that I see people kind of like, their mentality in a sense is moving in the direction. However, their actual actions are not moving in that direction. So if you want to be successful, there's a reason like most people aren't millionaires and they're not successful. It's not easy. It's going to require hard work, dedication, time. Like you really have to put in the effort to get there, or else literally everyone would be this. People will want to get this dream job and they want to achieve all these things. However, they're spending their time on the weekends and stuff. They're partying, they're going out with friends. They're not doing anything to actually get them to that point. So that's kind of what I'm meaning by like, let's say your goal is this dream job. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's say you want to own your own photography business. Okay, that's a good example. So let's say your dream job, you want to own your own photography business. Like you want to do this. However, you don't even own a camera. You are blowing your money going out every weekend with friends, partying, going out to the club versus saving that money, buying a camera, and spending that time then practicing your craft. You have to work on your craft, and in the end, like, you need to make yourself an asset. It's not like people just wake up one day and know how to do shit. I didn't just wake up randomly one day and know exactly how to film and how to do marketing and all this stuff. No, you have to work on your craft. Whatever you want to do, what you're passionate about, you have to constantly learning and bettering yourself. And that's not even just within like one thing, like your job per se. That needs to go into everything. Like working out. It's not like you just do one workout and you're absolutely shredded and like or buff or anything like that. No, you constantly have to keep going. It's all about consistency and building that up. So make sure that your actions are aligning with your goals. Honestly, it's pretty simple. Like I know that's like a simple term. However, I find this is the one thing people have the most issues with. Their actions just aren't aligning with their goals. So although you set your goals, so number 1, let's take it back. Define what you want. Number 2, make sure your actions are matching what you want. What are your goals? Make sure everything is aligning. That is how this is all going to come to fruition and actually work out. Number 3, so this kind of piggybacks right off the second one that I just talked about. Make sure your actions are aligning with your goals. Make sure who you're surrounding yourself with. Like, pay attention to that, you guys. I'm not saying this is going to be easy at all. If anything, I think this is one of the hardest things whenever you're trying to change your life, which I had to deal with this and it was very hard. Sometimes I still struggle with it, not gonna lie. But you need to pay attention to who you're surrounding yourself with. You are a combination of the 5 people closest to you. So think about that. Think about the 5 people you are around the most, and you want to be like them. Like, I mean, you really have to get kind of like raw and real with yourself and be very transparent. And it's not like this is one thing, like you do it once and then it's just done. You have to continue to do this. As you meet new people, you have to kind of assess, and once you get to know them, and it sounds kind of cutthroat and brutal, but like look at what they're doing, their actions and everything, and kind of think like, okay, do I want to do that? That's going to rub off on you. You know what I mean? So make sure you're being very conscious about who you are spending your time with. There is a lot of people that I have grown up with. They were like childhood friends. And some people, it's okay, I guess, in a sense, like if you don't think this is right, that's totally your opinion. But me, I know what I want to achieve in life. I know where I'm headed. I know what I'm doing in that sense. And I know this is just kind of one of those things that I have to do. So I have cut off a lot of people that I grew up with just because, for instance, people grow apart. That's kind of one of those things. So just make sure you're always conscious about who you're spending your time with. If you're with a friend and they're constantly like, I don't know, they never say anything positive, they're always just bitching and complaining about something, it's probably not the best person to be around, because then you're going to start to adapt those things. That's how you're going to view the world. You're not going to be as grateful. You're going to be like looking at things from a negative perspective versus the positive perspective. So kind of keep that in mind whenever you're meeting people, whenever you're meeting new friends. And it's not like you just have to cut them off cold turkey, because, it's not, a lot of people aren't going to react, and they're honestly just going to think you're a bitch. If you text them and you're like, I think you have a negative perspective and I don't want to be anything like you, so we can't hang out anymore. Not saying that's how you do it. If you want to, sure, you do you. This is your life, your opinion on all of this. But for me personally, like something I did, I kind of just, my friend group that I used to have, I still love them. I still kind of talk to them. I just don't, we're not on bad terms at all. I just don't hang out with them, they don't align and match my goals and kind of like where I want to go in life. So it's not like I sent like a really mean message telling them like, we can't be friends anymore, you're completely cut off. No, that's not what I did. I just started saying no to things. Like they would ask me, do you want to go out to the movies or something? Or like, do you want to go out this weekend? And I would just say like, no, sorry, I have a lot of stuff to do, I'm busy. Things like that. And I mean, I think after a while, they'll kind of start to get the hint. I know like my old friend group did. They kind of understood, and they'll just stop inviting you at some point, which some people, that could make you sad. Yes, it's not exactly fun, because hanging out with those people at times, that is fun. However, you just kind of got to realize what's worth it and what's not to you. You know what I mean? So what I am trying to achieve in life and the things of how I want to reach success, I know that's more important to me than going out and partying and having those super fun moments. So I don't know, a lot of people view this differently, and I think that's one of the coolest things about people having their own lives. You get the power to choose. It's your choice. Some people chase living up their youth forever and going out and partying. Other people, they chase their career or business endeavors, things like that. Some people will chase the family life and settling down. It's all up to you. So just kind of figure out what you want and then match your actions based on that. So that's what I was saying. This third one kind of piggybacks right off the matter of your goals aligning with everything. But pay attention, think about the 5 people closest to you, and then kind of really hone in and realize, do you want to be like them? Do you like the things that they're doing? are your habits, you know what I mean? Like that stuff rubs off on you. And I feel like most people, they kind of notice that whoever you spend your time with, you start to act like that, you start to do those things. So stay conscious of that and really just be harsh on yourself and kind of assess those things. All right, this is one of my favorite ones. Another reason that you're being held back and not achieving these things, you do not read. So some of you, if you're watching this, maybe you do read, which if so, go you, very proud of you. However, a lot of you, I'm sure, that are watching this right now, you don't read. Or if you do read, you'll read like, I don't know, you'll read, I don't even know, like 2 books a year. You need to be reading consistently. This needs to be a part of your routine. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning, I guarantee you pick up your phone and check that, okay? Instead of doing that, wake up in the morning, turn off your alarm, set a little timer for like 30 minutes, pick up a book and start reading. This absolutely changes the game. Maybe you are from a small town and you don't know that many people, or you don't really know anyone that's like super successful. I used to kind of have this mentality that I can't be successful because I've never grown up around success. I don't know what it looks like, all this, until I started reading. Reading, you literally have so much knowledge at your fingertips, yet hardly anyone takes advantage of it. This book right here is called The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. It's one of the best sellers, you know what I mean? Like if you're in the self-development business realm, you've probably heard of this book. It's absolutely amazing. Whenever you're reading these different books, you have the opportunity to take all the knowledge, the tips, the experience, and just learn this person's story, so then you can take the key points of that and apply it to your life. It's honestly like you're kind of skipping some chapters. You're getting ahead. So use that knowledge to the best of your thing. And that doesn't even just go for books. Consume content of people that you want to be like. So if you're not able to, I don't know, let's say you look up to Oprah. You probably can't go hang out with Oprah and grab lunch with Oprah. Okay, understandable, that's fine. You know, it's kind of a little unrealistic to do that. But what you can do, you can consume a lot of her content. You can look into her, research her, realize, study her life and the different things that she's done. Learn from her thing. Study the history of all these successful people, what they've done, how they've achieved these goals. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And then you can apply that. So think of it like you can have one. Everyone always says, get a mentor. Maybe not everyone is able to actually hire a mentor and go work with them one-on-one or in person, but use people, authors, different successful people. The way social media works now, you can literally look up basically anyone online and you can have access to their information, their story, their life, all of that, their contact information. So use that to your advantage. This day and age, you guys, we literally have so much at our fingertips and hardly anyone takes advantage of it. Everyone's always complaining about because they're not successful and they're not this, that, or their hometown, how they grew up, their childhood, all of this shit. Yet, you guys, a lot of millionaires, they were in the same boat. It's just they actually took action. They took a step forward and they did the shit that they needed to get to where they're at. I read also a lot of ebooks on my iPad, so you could do that. Look up bookstores near you. I'm not sure if they're a chain. I know there is multiple of them in Columbus, so I believe they are, but maybe look up, see if you have a half-price bookstore near you. That's where I get majority of my books. I do not ever pay full price for books. I either get them online. Guys, there's a little thing. It's called b/ok.org. And if you have an Apple product, you can download ebooks on there for free. So you didn't hear it from me, but go on there if you don't have the finances necessarily to start reading that stuff, but you want to get into reading, pop on over there. But this was one of the first business books that I ever read, and this absolutely changed the way that I view money. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is a classic. I'm sure you've heard of it. Another one, not this one. This one's kind of little quotes and stuff, random little passages. It's not an actual legitimate book, but still is. Any of the You Are a Badass. There's the regular You Are a Badass. I've read that one. It's super good. It's really good. That's actually the first book I ever read as self-development. It's a super easy read. The second one I ever read was You Are a Badass at Making Money. I grew up in poverty, so this kind of really helped me switch my mentality whenever it comes to money. And honestly, I pick this up quite often because I'll notice myself almost relapsing into those same thought patterns. So that is really a good one if you haven't necessarily grown up with money around you and your family and stuff, and you feel like you're not able to achieve it. Go ahead, check out that book, try and read it. If you want to become an influencer, this book, I think you guys can see how much value I got out of it. Look how many little tabs I have in here. This book is absolutely amazing. I have not heard anyone talking about this. I found this at the half price bookstore. It's called Influencer by Brittany Hennessy. It has a lot of really good things and just kind of like teaches you about the industry, like even if you're before you're in the industry. And if you're not, it kind of gives you stepping stones in the order, like the pattern to take to actually get into the influencer industry. So obviously not everything is going to be 100% accurate. Social media is constantly changing, but it's still something that is worthwhile reading. This is one of my most recent reads and I am absolutely in love with this. If it's more of it's not super dense, but in an instance it kind of is a bit more dense than all of these ones I've talked about. This is The Intelligent Entrepreneur. It is based off Harvard graduates and it kind of tells their story of entrepreneurship, the struggles that they faced, how they've overcome things, their mindset, the different obstacles in life. Like, it just tells these 3 different people's stories and how they're all so different. They were all Harvard graduates, their background even before Harvard, and how they came out successful and millionaires in the end. I find this really inspiring. I love all things entrepreneurship. And this is another one I have in my drawer. I do have a lot more. I just haven't. I am like CEO of starting books and then I don't always finish them. A lot of the times I'll loop back. So I started this one and then I started this one and I just kind of abandoned this one. But I got probably like a fourth of the way through this one, Essentialism. It is pretty good. I'm going to go back and finish it. I went and bought this book instead and I started reading that. Yes, but the power of books, use it to your advantage, you guys. If you don't have people around you, if your parents weren't successful and you lived in poverty, things like that, I totally get it. It's easy for you to be watching this and you'd be like, you know, people will be like, oh, easy for you to say this, this, and that. They assume like mommy and daddy's money, all of that nonsense. I get it. It's easy to do that, put blame on other things. But in reality, it's just an excuse. Stop making excuses for stuff. Use the things at your fingertips and read the stuff. These books, people, the authors of that can be your mentors. They can entirely change your life. I'm not saying just because you read a book you're going to be swimming in money or anything. It's not about that. It's about taking that knowledge and then you also have to use that knowledge and actually like execute on it and utilize that within your life, your business, all of these things. But I'm just saying the knowledge is there. Like, the power is literally at your fingertips, so use it to your advantage. So you're not going to be swimming in money. I'm not swimming in money right now. However, I know eventually I will be because I read all these books. I'm constantly growing myself. I'm making myself a greater asset. So eventually I can be. And right now, not to toot my own horn, I am doing pretty damn good for my age. I'm 19 years old. I am literally sitting in the house that I own. I have a nice car out there that I bought outright. I work full-time at my dream job as a social media manager. I also am a successful influencer. I hate that term, but you guys know what I mean. So I have that company, and then I also am in the startup phase of another company. Like, there's a lot of things, and I seriously attribute so much of that to books. I have been able to achieve that, not because I was ever taught this shit from my family. Like, guys, I grew up in poverty. I grew up living off food stamps. We had Metro. Like, my dad never had a job. He worked as a janitor for 2 days his whole entire life, and my mom, she was making like $11 an hour raising my sister and I. So I haven't come up from easy stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what I grew up around, there was no entrepreneurial like people that kind of like helped me like pave the way. I read books, I learned from other people, things on social media, online, all of this, and that's what helped me get to where I am. So if I can do it, you sure as hell can too. Okay, number 5, the most important one of them all. So at this point now, you know what you want. You guys have set your plans. You've kind of like put your ducks in a row. Now it is time to execute. This is the biggest thing that honestly holds people back. They'll get all these plans, yet they never execute on anything. I know so many people in my personal life that will constantly tell me different things that they want to do with their life. They want to do this, that, yet they never do it. I'm like, okay, what's holding you back though? Something about me though, I execute like no other. I think that's why, I'm not gonna lie guys, I fail a lot. There's different things. If you know me, whenever I graduated high school, my senior year of high school, I had started to kind of get my ducks in a row because I thought I wanted to be an online personal trainer. I was like, this is it. I'm going to use my social media platform to scale this business. I want to be a trainer. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I thought that was it. Guess what? I tried that. I absolutely hated it. I hated online personal training. I didn't feel connected to my audience and I was like, shit, what am I doing? But then I paid money. I paid thousands of dollars to enter this course to learn how to do all of this stuff. And then I realized partway into it, this is not for me. However, I learned from it. You know what I mean? So execute. That is just the one thing. Like, at least try. The worst that can happen, okay, you realize it's not for you. You've kind of narrowed it down a little bit. At least now you know that's not the route for you. People are always so scared of failure. However, this is something I have always said, I will continue to say, you only fail when you stop trying. I know that's corny to bring a quote into things, but this is how I've always viewed things. So although like you fall, get back up. I mean, it's that simple, you know what I mean? The greatest people of all time, the billionaires that we look up to, most of the time, they failed. You guys just don't see those failures. You see their successes that made them at the top as to where they are. But it's not like they just woke up one day and they were billionaires. No, they had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations to get to where they are at. So understand that and then execute. I would rather die knowing that I tried it and I failed versus dying regretting that I never actually tried it. Because then you have those thoughts of the what if. At least if you try and you fail, you don't have those what if thoughts. You'd be like, okay, I tried this, I gave it my all, it didn't work out, it wasn't for me. It's that simple. You move on to the next thing. So you guys, if you literally take anything from this video, please execute. If you have an idea on something, stop just sitting there and just never doing anything about it. Execute. That's the only way that you're ever going to change your life, is if you actually take action on things and do it. Okay, so that is going to conclude this video. If you can't tell, guys, I get pretty damn passionate about a lot of this stuff. Entrepreneurship and just like the business stuff. I love it all. It's so interesting to me. But if you guys like this video, please comment down below. I know it was a little bit different for my content. I do plan to start making more videos like this, so if you like it, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button, everyone, down below. I guess as a YouTuber, I'm supposed to be saying that now. I never have, but you guys know what I mean. So that is going to conclude this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love you. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one.